I'm working on a project.
Okay.
I'm trying to put interviews with believers up on the internet. I'm going for hundreds of interviews. I've got about 30 so far. All believers, no matter what they are. Christian, non-Christian, whatever. Just as long as they call themselves a believer or something. Would you like to help me? Ask you two simple questions.
Okay.
I presume you believe.
Yes, I do.
I want to know why you believe. And I want to know why I should believe.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I grew up in church since I was young, but not until I was out of school, out of high school. I always believed in God. I believed that He existed, but it was something that was more my parents' thing. You know, I went to church with my parents. My dad was actually a pastor. And when I got out of high school, I just began to want it for myself. And there's a song that's called Consuming Fire, and there's words in it that say there must be more than this. And I knew that there must be more than just me showing up in church, that I wanted God to be real to me, and I wanted Him to be.
So would it be fair to say you had a sense of incompleteness?
Well, I didn't have a personal relationship. It was something that I'd grown up in. It was part of my family, and I definitely believed in God, and I knew He was active, and there had been things that had happened where I really felt He had spoken to me and He had talked to me.
What kind of things?
Really,
What kind of things, if you can tell me?
What kind of things what?
What kind of things happened that made you feel He was real?
Just how I saw Him in people's lives. I saw people's lives change because of Him. My parents, for one, were a great example of, my parents got saved in the 70s, and they were both drug addicts and hippies, and God totally changed their life and just completely took them out of drugs and alcohol and set them free. My dad was very depressed when he was younger, and God delivered him of that. And so I definitely knew God was real, but I was looking for something for myself and how God was real to me. Instead of just going to church, it can leave you empty if you're just going just to go or to be religious about it. But I was wanting a real relationship with Christ. And so I really dedicated my life to Him at that time. And one of the things that God has done for me in my life is I went through a really hard situation with my husband and I did with just things that were happening in our life, and I was pretty upset about things. I was probably every emotion, mad, sad, everything else that you can think of, and my back began to hurt very badly, and for an entire year I couldn't cross my legs, I couldn't bend over, and we were wanting to have a child, and I didn't think I was going to be able to even carry a child. I'd gone to specialists, I'd gone to doctors, and I mean, there wasn't much they could do for me except for say that I had degenerative disc disease. And one day, God just kind of, He used somebody that was in our life that said, you know, this thing has happened to you, and ever since then, this has kind of been the result of what's happened, is that you've had all of this pain and gone through this turmoil because you've been unable to let it go, and you've been unable to forgive. And the moment they said that, I went home and I prayed, and I just said, God, all this stuff that's happened, I forgive, and I'm going to let it go. And God completely healed me. And, and
so the back pain went away
since then.
The back pain went away when you forgave somebody or something like that, right?
Yeah, when I forgave, because I think some of those things are really, you know, tied into who we are when we hold on to things, and our body reacts to that also. And so God really helped me let go, and you don't forget it, but He heals you from the pain of it and lets you move on from it. So, yeah.
So you believe you experienced the supernatural healing?
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. Never felt 1 ounce of pain since that day, and I went for over a year seeing back specialists, going to PT 3 to 4 times a week.
I see.
In tremendous pain. Like I said, I couldn't cross my ankles, couldn't cross my legs, I was in very bad pain.
And then you had this experience and the pain went away.
Yeah, our pastor at the time spoke those words to me and said, I think you need to forgive and to let these things go. And as soon as he spoke it, I felt a little bit better, and we went home and we prayed, and I said, God, I'm letting it all go. And I cried, and I just said, you know, all these things that have hurt me, all the things that were said, I'm letting it go, and I'm giving it to you, and I'm laying it at your feet. And instantly, complete healing.
Okay. So,
your other question was, why should you believe?
Okay, go for it. Why should I believe?
Well, I mean, we're out here just sharing Christ. I think everybody has, you know, whether you've had a relationship with God or whether you know Him or not, I think.
That's shining in my eyes.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, no problem.
And so we're just, it's for everybody to decide. Christ has given us that free choice to say, I decide to serve you. It's nothing that you are forced into doing or that you have to do, but...
Why do you say that? I've read your book.
You've read the Bible?
Yeah. The penalties for not being in line with God at death are fairly severe, as I understand the book. Is that a misunderstanding on my part?
No, but he gives us freedom to choose. That's the thing about the whole from Genesis to Revelation and all in between. It's a story of redemption, and it's a story of forgiveness, and he gives us a choice, and it's up to us to choose. What do we choose, life or do we choose death? Do we choose even physically as we're here? Do we choose to live and to experience everything that he has for us, or do we choose to live like how I was saying, like in my unforgiveness and in the things that I was going through? So we all have a choice, and he's given us that freedom. He's created us. I believe he's created us and crafted us for him. And
so are there any things in the Bible you have difficulty with? Talking animals, heaven, hell, angels, demons, all that stuff? Anything give you pause intellectually?
No.
No?
I believe it.
Believe it? Every word of it?
I do.
Okay. So how do you know you're right?
How do I know I'm right?
That's three questions.
Yeah.
And you weren't done with telling me why I should believe. So however you want to go from there is fine.
I would say the reason that I know that he's real, and I'm not here to argue all the different things of Scripture, but I know that Christ is real in my life, and I know what he's done for me, and I know that he can do the same for other people. I know that he can help us. I know that he's the one who came and created us, and he created us in his image, and he created us to worship him and to fear the Lord and to have reverence for him and to live in a way that pleases him.
Okay, how do you know you're right about that?
Because
I mean, a lot of people have very strong religious ideas and experiences, and they vary greatly on how they see God and all that stuff. Now, I'm in a Christian culture, so I'm going to run into Christians who have a Christian experience. But if I go to a non-Christian culture, or even non-Christians within the culture, like Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses or whatever you want to classify as a faith group that's non-Christian, they have experiences too. And they have certainty as well. How would I know you're correct? How do you know you're right and they're wrong?
Well, I'm not really here to argue right and wrong of which religion's right, which religion's wrong. I'm not a theologian. I don't know every different religion, but I know Christ is real. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And you're looking for something else, and I'm just saying I know Christ is real for what he's done for me and what he's done in my life. And I know that the book that I read, called the Bible, is a living, breathing book. What happened then is also applicable now, everything in Scripture, and there are things that apply to my life, and he teaches me on a daily basis how to be a better person, how to love him more, how to be a better mother, how to be a better wife, how to love people. When
I'm going to take a wild guess, and this is outside the interview, but if you don't want to answer, that's fine. We'll take a wild guess. Politically, you're conservative.
Correct.
Okay.
Good wild guess.
All right. Anything else you want to tell me?
No, that's it.
Okay, thanks a lot.